Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight panel series. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I'm sitting down here with a wonderful selection of female entrepreneurs where we'll be talking about things in business and entrepreneurship, in everything that comes around when it comes to what it's like to build a business today. So first and foremost, I want to thank every single one of our panelists for being here, for taking the time to allow us to dive into a bit of conversation. I always love to just start with a little bit of background. So let's start with kind of going across here. I'll just kind of go my kind of what's on my screen here. But Ashley, if you would, tell us a little bit about your background. Tell us who you are, what your business is, kind of, I don't know, a couple minutes here. Give us kind of the high level view of who you are and what your business is.
Sure. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I am Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. And what our business does is we help the visionaries out there, all of you business owners who have a million different things to do, but oftentimes you started a business because you have a love for solving a problem or a craft, or you're an artist or whatever it is. You want to be going to do that, not the systems, not the operations, not the payroll, not the P&L. And so set out to solve that problem. Our platform that we built, we help caregivers, women who are returning to the workforce or want to pivot in their career, become online business managers, those people to go run your business so you can go out and be your best self, do whatever it is you're passionate about. And I started Prowess Project 4 years ago because I wanted to solve my, at the time, future problem of how I was going to have kids and a career. And hopped on Harvard Business Review. 43% of educated women are pushed out of the workforce because of childcare. 97% would return if they had access to flexible jobs. And voila, here's Prowess. Visionaries, match them up with online business managers to run their business.
Absolutely amazing. Welcome. Thank you so much. Alyssa, background, a little bit about you and your business.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Alyssa Joshua. I'm an executive coach. So I'm in Austin now, but I coach people all around the globe, really. My main focus as a coach is mindset and peak performance, because a lot of people are looking at focusing really on their career or on personal things that they're dealing with. And I like to help them address both because they really do impact each other. And so I really want them to have an authentic version of who they are as a person. And I've been coaching for 5 years, but I've been in the corporate space for about 20, and all of my careers and different jobs kind of led me into this overarching umbrella of coaching, which I love. So I really like to walk beside people and help them find their authentic self and feel like they have the time and the energy back that they maybe have lost. So that's a little bit about me and what I do.
Excellent. Well, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate
you.
that. Excited to be jumping into some additional conversation there. Maria, welcome. If you would give us a little bit of background about you and your business.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm a co-founder and head of growth in Oyo AI. We're a SaaS company developing software solutions based on artificial intelligence. And our tool provides AI-powered monitoring and actionable insights for popular software development lifecycle management toolboxes like Jira, Azure DevOps. So you just plug in our tool and get all assessment, reporting, and recommendations, what you need to improve your IT projects. And I'm from Russia. I came here to the US 1 year ago to pursue my MBA at Macomb School of Business at Austin with major marketing and tech. So basically, I'm a new person here, but in January, just 7 months ago, I, together with my two partners, we started to develop this startup. Of course, actually, my true passion is startups. I launched during my whole life. I launched around 20 startups. 6 of them were successful. Of course, not everyone was successful, but anyway, I gained a lot of experience. So I hope that this startup will be a unicorn.
Amazing. Well, welcome to the US. Welcome just in general to
Thank you.
Austin. Absolutely fantastic to have you here. Casey, a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Sure. So I am the franchise owner of Patrice and Associates of Austin, Texas. Patrice and Associates is a national recruiting company, primarily servicing the hospitality industry historically, with the addition of tens of new franchisees over the past several years who have come from all different backgrounds. They've expanded their product offerings and service offerings to executive search and other industries that they were just more comfortable in. It's pretty unique, the franchise model, because we have the ability to be a national network. So different than maybe some other places, we actually are more connected, and we work each other's jobs. We give each other candidates. So it really is a much more family kind of environment than other agencies I've worked at, which has been a really positive experience. I had come from, in addition, I am also the owner of Talent 512 People Solutions, which is an HR consulting company that I am just now starting to really get off the ground in the next couple of weeks. I spent 15-ish years as an HR executive across several different industries. Notable companies include Jefferies Investment Bank, Comcast, and most recently I was at a company called Fortune, which is a heavy civil construction company. Super interesting. Never thought I would be in construction, but it really kind of blew my mind when they showed me a megalodon tooth they picked up from 100 feet down the old ocean that was once under Colorado. Had no idea there was even an ocean under Colorado at one point, but yeah. So my journey had taken me in many different places in HR, and I was just ready to use all of that to go out on my own and kind of give to our community here in Austin. I moved to Austin 3 years ago, literally tomorrow, 3 years ago. And I've just loved it so much and wanted to give it as much back as it's given me.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Casey. Diana, a little bit of background and tell us about your business.
Hi, my name is Diana Lammerts. My background is actually in radio, journalism, and PR. And me and my business partner, we came together and merged our ecosystems because we believe that if you merge your ecosystem from different industries, you can create something better and bigger. And that's how we created Viking Executive Protection Solutions. And we have another company, Viking Technical Security Group. With Viking EPS, we basically provide executive protection service, but there's so many misconceptions about it. They think like, oh, you have to book it for 12 months a year, and only rich people and celebrities can afford it. It's actually not true. We have services as entrepreneur service. Let's say you want to go out with your friends, but you don't like to be roofied and you want to come home safely, then you might want to have an EP with you, and they blend in. It's not like you have this huge big bodyguard like they display them in the movies and everything. We actually have awesome female bodyguards as well, or EP agents as we call them. One actually was at the UFC and stopped a runner, and that little lady, she ran across the whole stadium and no one caught her from the other security team, and our EP agent did, and she's awesome. And we celebrate our female agents as well. And we also do chaperone services. Let's say you have kids, they are 20, 21, they want to go out, but you can't go because it's so cringe, right? You can't follow your kids, but you want someone with them, and it's supposed to look cool and nice, and they're safe. It's the same thing. We, of course, also do traditional executive protection, and with TSG, Viking TSG together, we do corporate security and event security. We do big festivals, weddings as well as birthdays, because on special days, you want to have a special positive experience, and you don't want to keep it in mind and be memorable because of something really bad happening, someone crashing your wedding or your birthday. No one needs that. So rather have some security officers there, all military or law enforcement, former law enforcement. And because to be honest, security is not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity nowadays. And we only have one life. And everyone says, invest in yourself. But people say, oh, no, I don't need to invest in my security. Well, if something happens to you, you only have one shot.
Love that. Diana, thank you so much. Excited to have you here and getting into some conversation. Jody, if you would give kind of your background and all the amazing different things that you've done within our business and some of the history that you've got leading up into that'd be helpful for the conversation today.
Sure. So I'm about 35 plus years working in and with nonprofits, either in leadership roles or development roles or all the things that are nonprofit. And I've also worked, and my husband and I had a sales and marketing business and graphic design business that we had for numerous years. And so 2011 is when my husband and I started our Action Coach franchise in Iowa. And I was always working in a nonprofit. He was doing the coaching. And so it was really interesting that through the years, when we moved to Texas it's been 5 years now, I took a role as the CEO of United Way for Williamson County. And in that position, I used my skills of kind of looking at the big picture and figure out what's the most efficient way. And I really led the merge between United Way of Williamson County and United Way for Greater Austin. And so when that was all coming into fruition, I was like, I've talked about working with Andy. We had just merged with our partner, Dr. Hartley. Tanner was on board. And so I was like, you know what, it must be time. So I jumped in full force, and then of course was very excited about still wanting to work with nonprofits and take that piece in the coaching for a cause side of our firm, but also just understanding the women's side of it, because I've got stories, and I'm sure you all have stories that guys don't get. And so it's been really an interesting thing. About February, March 2022, I joined our firm and really started working in it full time. And so it's just been fun to be able to bring the female voice, and also I want to save the world with nonprofits, and the rest of them want world abundant or world domination. So
and for those that did not catch it, yes, our two names our last names are the same. Jody is my mother. Have the wonderful ability to work with both my parents in our business alongside our business partner, Dr. Hartley. So for those that had questions, I'll just clarify that right there. There is a familial relationship. But that being said, I want to dive into kind of some fun conversations that come to this process of building business, some of these lessons learned along the way. And we just start with an easy one. And Ashley, I'll start with you. I'll kind of go in generally the same order, but again, if you've got thoughts you want to jump into these conversations, please do so. Easy one here, kind of looking at the journey in business. Oftentimes we start with lots of different hats, lots of different roles that we have to play within the business. So for you, Ashley, I'm curious, what role or roles plural do you currently play in the business? How many different hats do you have to wear in the business today?
Great question, Tanner. How much time do you have? So Prowess has been around for 4 years, and we are big believers in exactly what we sell, that in order to have a successful business, you need to have a visionary who, again, is the thought leader, the relationships person, the person's going to do out the sales and marketing and all of that. And then you need the integrator who's really in there building the systems and figuring out the how are we going to make it to our next goals. And so I play the role of visionary in the Prowess project, and I have an absolutely amazing integrator, our COO, who is way smarter than me and just truly like the backbone of our business. And so I'm sales marketing, she is ops tech, and finance.
Very nice. Maybe I'll just open this question to anyone that wants to answer it. Like, if y'all are wearing multiple different hats, is there one particular hat that you have that if you could hand it off tomorrow, that would be the first one to go? Yes, Casey.
Social media marketing. I don't get it. When I sit down to write content to get it, I go blank. I could talk to anybody, but when it's like putting something out there to be permanent, I get like, I can't do it. I don't know. I wish. And so I pawned that off on my boyfriend and business partner. He's actually way better at it.
Do you have one hat that you would absolutely love that you would never take off and give to somebody else?
Working with my clients, being the consultant for my clients and talking to them, figuring out what is it that's itching you? What do you need my help with? What do you think you don't need my help with that I know you need my help with? Yeah, I love that. And then coming to them with the table with a solution or some kind of like idea and seeing that come to life. That's my favorite part.
Hmm.
Casey, that definitely resonates with me. And also what you said, Ashley, because I'm a solopreneur. And so I wear all the hats and I have a lot of like team members, I'll call it, but I use that loosely, like my executive coach, my sales mentor and coach, other coaches who I talk to about all different things that are helping, but like the marketing piece of what do people need and want to hear and how do I have it authentic? The lead gen hat is the hat that I would take off as soon as possible because that is so tricky and I still have not figured that one out myself. But I would give that up because in my mind, I think I just want to coach. I just want to coach people, bring them solutions, get them where they want to go. I don't want to worry about these other things. And so I've had to really learn what it looks like to wear all the pieces as a solo person and find ways not to be doing it alone.
So on that, that was something that I was very afraid of it myself, which is why we went the route of the franchise. Franchises are a unique opportunity. They give you a system, and a lot of those things that they teach you are the things that you may inherently know that you have to do, but like don't want to do or don't really know how to measure. And like, so it forces you to build behaviors like smiling and dialing and lead generation that is essential for scaling your business forward and behaviors that once you take off that hat, because Lord knows nobody wants to do that forever, you can then pass those on to whomever you hire to take over those responsibilities.
Yeah, we have that. That was my husband when he was coaching, and it was just him coaching. And so now that we have Tanner, who is like, he likes spreadsheets and junk like that, and and doing all the statistical stuff. So yeah, we completely can relate to. We have our coaches who just want to coach, and it's awesome.
Our spreadsheets are amazing. Like I'm the type as well. Like we implemented systems right from the get-go, and fortunately, my business partner, he is incredible. His background in law enforcement and education in executive protection is just wow. I mean, of course, without him, we couldn't do it because he's the brain when it comes to protection. But luckily, we were able to split the workload. So I'm more like the data spreadsheet and marketing, of course, based on my background. He's operations and education, situational awareness as well, because that's what he learned, that is what he excels in, and we learn from each other. That's also very exciting.
Of course, I have like a typical startup, so I wear all hats. The only thing that I don't do is software engineering. I do everything else: growth, sales, marketing, finance, product development, HR, everything. So of course, when we grow a little bit, I will delegate everything, and I will be responsible only for growth and sales that I want to. But now, of course, I raising funding, I acquire customers, I working with the feedback, I basically do some vision how to change the product, develop features, and so on, develop go-to-market strategy, hiring people, everything. But for me, this is totally normal because all my life I did startups, so I just used to do that.
So I heard in there a few times marketing being a topic, and it's a perfect segue because I love asking some questions around marketing because it's vital to every business out there, but it doesn't mean that it's always the easiest one to like pick up and be very good at from day one, especially for newer entrepreneurs and business owners out there. So I like to always ask a few questions around marketing. I'm curious, and if there's anyone that has an answer for this and wants to jump onto it, we can start there. I don't have to pick on anyone, but philosophy around marketing. What have you found that has worked in kind of your realm for your business that has led to, you know, some leads and some business in your in as you continue to grow?
So the
Ashley.
one thing that we are doing, I would say consistently, is networking with our personal networks and word of mouth. We're a local Austin business. We're targeting local Austin companies and restaurants. And so we hit up our friends and say, hey, who do you know? And hey, can you just make an introduction? You don't have to do anything else. Just make the introduction. And then, you know, maybe I'll buy you a present later or something. No, but that's been honestly where we've gotten a lot of our leads from, is just word of mouth and knowing people. So it's an excuse to, you know, go grab that drink for happy hour and all the good fun stuff that comes along with being a business owner.
Definitely networking. Oh, Ashley, you go.
Nope. Go for it. Go for it.
For me, networking has been a big one, and those personal reach outs. I don't know about everyone else, but in the coaching space, there's a lot of automation that comes at me on LinkedIn. So when I get a message that seems authentic and I respond and is a real person, that will kind of draw me in. So I've really taken that on, as well as making sure that I'm reaching out to people human to human and introducing myself and saying hi. And they, because I've even had people ask me like, are you real? And I'm like, yep, I'm real. And we'll chat about that. But it does make a big difference. And then for me, like when it comes to social posting, is being authentic, like almost talking to my network the way I would talk to a client on a call, so that people get an experience of me, and remembering that just because I posted something doesn't mean everybody saw it. So it's okay if I talk about the same thing or bring up a point again, because repetition is how we learn anyway. So keeping it really just like, who am I and how do I talk to people? And then just putting that out there and using that in networking and social has been a big one for me in really giving people a true experience of what it's like to work with me.
I love that, Alyssa. I love that you're giving them the taste. So for Prowess Project, what has worked is, first and foremost, we had to pick a niche, one segment of the audience that we were going to go deep into. There's riches and niches. Highly, highly, highly agree with that. In order to do that, we did what's called info interviews. So we said, hey, this is our hypothesis. We think, you know, solopreneurs who want to scale beyond $250,000 are our target. We went out and talked to 50 of them, asked them all the same question, and then took their exact words and used that in our marketing and those learnings to develop our offer to them. And then followed up with all of them and said, hey, I talked to 50 of your peers. These are the different things that I have learned, and you are right in line with everyone else on this pain, this pain, this pain, this solution. And that has been so incredibly helpful for us, increasing our inbound leads and word of mouth, etc.
Love that.
Love it.
Love that.
Amazing. What I guess kind of turning the question on its head, any like big stumbling blocks when it came to marketing, things that you tested and were like, that did not work at all, or that was really painful that I tried that particular thing? I can think of a few examples of, investing, say, thousands and thousands of dollars for absolutely no return. So curious, what have you all like experienced along the way in terms of things that maybe didn't work as well?
Cold call companies. Most definitely cold call companies. I can only piggyback on what the other said. It's networking, and also what we did. Roy has been going on a lot of podcasts and are now, and that's what a lot of agencies do not say, but it's helpful as well, is to be on television on some networks, but not in the television show itself, but online. So people go to their websites and they have show on there as well. So that is another opportunity that works. But the cold calls was something that didn't work at all. We tried, but no, most definitely not.
What has not worked for us is not having a system. I think a lot of people get very nervous about the idea of lead generation and marketing, but all it really is a system that you're continuing to do over and over and over again. And so that's how we really are thinking about it. I have absolutely bright, shiny object syndrome where I want to go do this. And then I talk to someone else and I'm like, oh my God, great idea. No, we're shifting over here. And so having my COO who keeps us accountable and creates that system is really helping move us forward.
Can you elaborate? Because that was actually a question I had, is like, I being an entrepreneur, I found that you need to have a system for every aspect of your business, and you need to work a little bit on everything every day versus focusing on only this and then only this, because then you get, what is sort of your system, if you don't mind sharing, with, kind of for your marketing efforts?
Great question. So it all goes back to what we learned from the info interviews. I mean, I was asking, where do you hang out? Are you LinkedIn? Are you Facebook? Are you Instagram? Are you Reddit? Where are you? And we got super, super simple. So I believe it was Alyssa who was saying from the very beginning, it is give, take, right? So I am giving content. And I follow up with people who are interested at least once a week. And it is me. It is me, and it is, hey, we had a conversation and you mentioned that you were going to your daughter's birthday party. I'm asking, how was the birthday party? Like, and following up once a week with content, helping. And keeping it super simple to get their email. And I take them through a full funnel, which I could talk to you offline and talk you all through it.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maria, what have been some of the things that you've learned along the way of, multiple startups and having to, launch so many different, products, things like that? Any marketing lessons learned along the way, along the number of startups that you've been a part of?
Yeah, actually, the lesson was that there is no need to invest a lot of money at first at digital marketing, like Google AdWords or something, maybe at creating amazing website or content without any testimonials, for example, because at first when you create a new product, you need to explain people in which cases you can use your product. So it's basically built all use case base for people. They should understand how they can apply it to those specific challenges and those specific needs. So now we are doing exactly the same. So basically what we're doing now is developing testimonials, referrals, building network of supporters and so on, early adopters. They're explaining to other early adopters how they applied our product and so on. Without this, no digital marketing, no content, no website actually works. So that's what I have learned. But of course, we have like a strong intent to invest a lot of money right now to just to grab a huge market size. Our competitors will do this, but will not do this. But no, we're stop. I'm stop myself from this temptation because I know that this will not work out.
I love that. I'm just curious because you mentioned referrals in there. I don't think we've talked a whole lot about referrals. Does anyone have like a system in place for asking for referrals or doing that consistently?
Systems queen over here, not me. Again, the team.
How has that impacted your ability to consistently get referrals? Because that's one of the most easiest, warmest type of lead that comes in. Tell us a little bit about your experience with creating a system around that.
So I will say it is now the number one driver of business is our referral system. And it does not need to be complicated. So we are doing the crawl, walk, run approach with this. Start super simple. Hey, Tanner, you have someone who needs an online business manager. Introduce me to that person. If they sign, you get a check each month for a thank you. That easy. And then it's just really all of this networking that you're already doing. If that person can't help you immediately, just say, hey, do you know anyone who is X, Y, and Z? And they may send you their way. It doesn't need to be complicated.
Love that. All right, let's shift gears a little bit, since I know we've talked a bunch about marketing. But as we shift gears a little bit here, I'm curious, y'all have had different journeys to achieve where you are today. Are there any, say, roadblocks or hurdles that kind of stand out in your mind? I'm sure there likely have been many, but one or two kind of roadblocks or challenges that you had to overcome that really defined and helped you become the entrepreneur that you are today.
That's such a good question, Tanner. When I think about that, for me, I had to overcome letting too many voices in, because I felt like, well, all of these people are experts, so I want to get all of their opinions because I haven't been an entrepreneur before. So I want to hear what they all have to say. But for me, it ended up becoming confusing because I was getting competing information. So I had to really make sure that I was looking for the right kind of trusted advisors, and that I was also very clear how I wanted my business to look, how I wanted it to grow, where I wanted it to go, so that I could also say no to certain advice that wasn't in alignment with what I was looking for. But I really have gotten myself in a pickle 2 or 3 times looking at everyone keeps saying I should do this, and then as a coach I'm like, well, what do you tell your clients when they're using should, right? So okay, what's out of alignment for me here that I'm saying that, and really getting clear, okay, these are people who I trust, and it's okay to have different opinions about it, but I don't have to accept everyone's opinion. I can really go forward with what makes sense for me. That was a big sort of acceptance moment for myself, to say, even though all these people are experts, I truly do know what I want for my business and what I feel is best at the end of the day.
Love that. I think that's one thing with women that we just aren't always good at, is being that because we all know what we're called when we're strong and emotional and all that stuff. But I think it is just being able to, I love your word authentic. That's my favorite word in the world. So just being who you are and learning who you are and continuing to grow. I think that's a way to get over some of those obstacles.
I would say one challenge of rejection, right? So it happens so often, like rapid fire in the beginning, and that's really hard to, as you're trying to get a new business off the ground, be told no 1,000 times a day. And really, and I've always been this kind of person, but especially like in a business where we're calling candidates and we're calling clients, and it's always no. So you almost have to put the word no out of your head. Like, I don't even hear that anymore. I'm just like, oh, you mean not right this minute. Oh, okay. Well, that's not actually what you, and I just find ways to turn every no into an opportunity. Perfect example. Right before I hopped on this panel, I was told by like a candidate that had just gotten an offer from one of our clients that he was going to accept a different offer. And it is the right decision for him. I know that. Very unfortunate timing that during the interview process for the job that I put him forward for, a job opened up at the hotel that he was working for. And, I could have been very upset about it. And I wasn't, because I know he's making the right decision. And I built such a good, trusting relationship with him. He was like, I will recommend you to anybody. And like, hey, I'm in a management position at this hotel. So like, who do you think I'm going to call? Like, it's you. So, finding those wins within the rejection and finding the opportunities, even if they are not going to come to fruition now or not be close to money now, kind of establishing that foundation of relationships and establishing that foundation of, okay, I learned, could I have done something differently there, so that as you move forward, you can grow tall, right? So that all the roots are on the bottom, and you don't have to worry about whether or not your leaves are sprouting just yet. They will in the future, and they'll be even stronger when they do. I'm a gardener, by the way, so I use a lot of plant references.
What do y'all have as advice for the audience when it comes to kind of these challenges that every entrepreneur faces, but for someone who's not a female entrepreneur, things that I may not understand that that may take place in y'all's journeys. What advice would you give to the audience in terms of how to kind of quiet some of that noise in their brain from, hearing the word no all the time to there's so much information coming at me and I don't know which ones that I should be saying yes to. How do you overcome some of that, or what advice would you recommend to the audience?
I say
Meditate. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Definitely meditate. And you want actually when you are an entrepreneur for a while, you start to appreciate the no's, because then you can move on and you can, okay, this is not for us. This is not where we need to go. This doesn't align. Wonderful, because you saved me so much time. And that is something that we do not have. We do not have time. And we all need to reclaim our time, right? So if I get a new no real fast, I'm happy about it, because then I can move on to the next project, the next client, the next target, the next group, the next person I can help that actually want to be helped, instead of just staying with one. Because if you see it like this, you spend 5 hours trying to convince a person that you can help them, but in the meantime you can help 10 different people at the same time, and you have 10 lives saved, and instead of just one. So and that is something where you need to start. It's a learning process, right? And yes, it is frustrating. It is if I don't meditate and work out every day, oh my gosh, or eat chocolate, like chocolate always chocolate always helps. That's my secret weapon. But it is challenging, and it is frustrating to always hear a no. And that's why a lot of times when I have someone cold calling on the phone, I'm like, I know you're doing your job and you're really nice, but I want to save you time and I want to make this quick. So I appreciate you calling, but this is a no. Or if someone is really good, sometimes we even end up chatting about, situational awareness, because not everyone needs to be saved, right? So it's like you can even help the other person sometimes. But I try to be nice as well, because they hear no every day as well. So you want to give them a nice no, but a quick no, so that they can move on to the next client, actually. But that's just my 2 cents and my experience.
And a lot of that is just setting expectations, right? Like, so understanding what it is you can do for somebody or some, client, or and sticking to that, right? You can't change your whole business strategy because, in our business, you would fall in love with a candidate or something like that, and it's hard to do, but once you get comfortable, and I think maybe as a female entrepreneur that, you don't want to come off as, and I will drop the first cuss word today,
Please.
bitch, or, any sort
Aggressive.
of tyrant, insert name here. You want to help everybody, and it also is in women's nature to help and to nurture and to care for. So I think there's a personal struggle with that, but then there's also you don't know how you're going to be perceived, and honestly, you just need to get the fuck over it, because you are a business owner just as everybody else who is a business owner, and it is your prerogative to run and to march towards the goals and the vision that you have for your business, and however that looks and feels, you need to make those decisions, and it makes you honestly a better partner to work with, even if they don't realize it at the time. Good riddance if they don't.
Love
Well,
it.
and I'll jump onto that same kind of thing that Casey is saying, because my advice too is like, don't believe your stories. And this is a big one for women, especially because, well, I couldn't reach out because that person's very busy, or I can't ask them for a referral because whatever the reason is likely untrue. It's a story you're making up. So a lot of times I'm saying to clients, is that true? And also, their busyness is none of your business. So if you want to reach out, they can say yes or no. So if we can stop the stories, it makes it a lot easier to simply do the thing that we want to do.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
think
Alyssa,
that
I love that.
yeah, I think too with the women and uplifting other women, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Big one.
huge. especially Ashley talking about just at the beginning of how the women that try to get back into the workforce and just being able to go for it.
Well, yeah, and I think that it's so important to have groups like this and being able to meet all of you. And then it goes back to the referral program that we were talking about earlier. I would much rather give all of you money than Mark Zuckerberg any day, right?
I
And
hope so.
yeah, so again, like it ties in the whole referral thing. But to answer your question, Tanner, about if I could like give anyone a nugget, Alyssa, completely agree with you on I wouldn't have listened to half the people who gave me advice. But really understand how to sell. I think that is really key. Someone said this to me the other day. A lot of entrepreneurs fall into the trap of you are trying to get your client from the island of despair to the island of success. But all we want to talk about is the boat to get them there. They don't give a shit what the boat is. They don't care how many sales it has. It doesn't matter. They want to hear all about the island of success, and they want to know that you get deeply that island of despair. And I thought that was so brilliant. And I wish I would have known that 4 years ago when starting. I think I would have sold a lot more.
I'm on the island of misfit toys, so I don't even know.
But actually, just to piggyback quick on what you're saying, that's a problem in marketing in general. People have a great product and they say, hey, this is my great product, you need to buy it. They don't understand is like you have to put the other ones first. I as a consumer want to know what is my ROI, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, yes, your product is amazing and yes, you can do A, B, and C and D with it and they can have a bad outcome, but it's just important for them. There's an amazing book, The Hero Story, and that I recommend to everyone because that's basically how we learn writing for radio reports. I'm from Germany, so that our radio is different over there. This is how you write, and it was so amazing to read this book, and it can help so many entrepreneurs. And if you're not a reader, the audiobook on double speed is amazing as well when you work out. So you can combine different. Yeah, I always do double speed. So if there's anyone else who can relate, you can clean and you can do anything where you don't have to think and just can listen on double speed, and then there you go. But this is definitely something that is important. And what you also hear a lot of times in those automated messages, and I think that's a point that y'all mentioned as well. I see when someone is a bot, and it's like, I have this, I have that, I have that, and I have a huge paragraph that I don't have time to read. And it's like, come on, people, use ChatGPT. It's out there, it's out there. And if you learn, if you know how to use it, at least if you have problem wording it a certain way, ask ChatGPT and can help you. We have so many tools, and it also saves time,
Yeah, my advice will be more. Okay. Maybe my advice will be more like from managerial point of view, but actually I've seen such mistake in actually almost all startups. Co-founders do a lot of microtasking. So I want to remember for everybody that you are basically the leader of your company. So your main job is to create the comfortable space for everyone. They can do the job well and help the company to succeed. And instead of getting involved in every little thing, try giving your team the freedom to handle the tasks and let them feel proud of what they have achieved. And once they feel trust, that once you show them that you trust them and you respect them, your team show your customers the same. So basically, happy team, happy customers. So that's what I've learned from all my experience. And really, people do this mistake all the time. And after that, why our customers are not happy? Because your people are not happy. That's why that's actually. So that's basically people know how you treat them.
Love that. I want to be respectful of everyone's time, and I always love to pull just a couple additional nuggets out for the audience before we start to officially wrap up here. So I'll kind of go around, have you all kind of answer this question, or really it's two. They can be related, they don't have to be related. But the first one's going to be, when you look at your journey so far, what would you say is your key to success? Kind of a word, a sentence that kind of comes to mind that you would attribute your success to. So that's the first part of the question. The second one is book recommendation. A book recommendation that has helped you along the way that you would recommend for the audience. So key to success, book recommendation. I'll go in order. So Ashley, you're first up on my screen. What would you say is your key to success, and one book recommendation you would give to the audience?
Hire people who are smarter than you. Like, you always want to be leveling up. You always want to be in the room where you feel like you're the dumbest person. Like, that is the ideal place you want to be. I think there's so much growth there. And then book recommendation, it's top of mind because I'm reading it right now, but $100 offers. So reading it now, big fan. I felt so nerdy last night. I couldn't put it down. It was like midnight. I was like, actually chill. Real good.
So I have to ask, will you be on Alex's launch call on Saturday for the $100 million leads?
I signed up. We'll see if my 20-month-old allows me to be on said webinar. Highly unlikely, unless we put on some Encanto or something, but we'll see.
Well, great book recommendation. I will second that one. Beautiful. Alyssa, key to success and one book recommendation.
For me, it's really been persistence, and like understanding that what didn't work today might work tomorrow. And it's a lot about seed planting, and it's a lot of doing similar things, so that consistency and persistence to keep going, even if I can't see the results, because I'll get a random call from somebody I talked to like a year ago who all of a sudden is ready to coach. So reminding myself to keep going and have a little grit and be okay with the no's and be okay with that thing that I tried really didn't work. What do I want to try this time? But really just continuing to go and being persistent. And one of the best books that I recommend to almost every client, Leadership and Self-Deception. It's by the Arbinger Group. It's about getting out of the box and how you are perceiving other people. So if you have a child who's always acting up in a certain way and you just automatically assume they're going to do that again, you put them in a box. I'm not explaining it well. Read it. It's life-changing. Pretty much every client that I work with, I say, you should read that book. It's a good recommendation. It's a good one.
Beautiful. Maria, how about for you? Key to success when you look back at your journey and a book recommendation for the audience.
Yeah, my secret of success boils down to my unending hunger for more. So being hungry all the time. So I basically refuse to settle and always strive for bigger, like mind-bending goals that push me to think outside of the box. So for me, success is not just like a final destination, it's ongoing journey. So, and even when some people tell me like, oh, you have done so well, so this is your success. No, there is all the time, there is a room for improvement, and I really want to reach more. So, and excitement also. It's like an electric feeling that keeps me ongoing and also persistent, yes. About the book, it's hard. I've read so many books, but now I've just finished to read the book Bargaining for Advantage. It's by Richard Shell. I don't have it with me because I read it in online version. So unfortunately, I cannot show this like that. But actually, now I'm doing a lot of negotiation, and this is, for me, this is a great book that provides a comprehensive and structured explanation of the negotiation process and different strategies that can be applied in most situations. So for me, this is best book if you try to negotiate a lot. So of course, I'm a new person in the US. So for me, Now I'm starting my networking. Now I'm building my partnership, negotiating a lot with customers. So that's actually, I like this book. So for negotiations, I think this is the best.
Beautiful. Love it. Casey, key to success
Um,
and book recommendation.
Yep. So for key to success, learning the discipline. And we've talked a little bit about the systems. We've talked a little bit about, you know, so much information coming at you, like figuring out kind of what your goal are, breaking that down into behaviors and then sticking to it, creating your schedule and like holding yourself really accountable for that. I think coming from a corporate environment where you're at the beck and call of everyone else above you and then the people who are reporting to you that you need to, your time is so scattered all of the time and sometimes within your control, sometimes not. When you're a business owner, it is 100% within your control and you better believe it and you better understand that and you're the only person who could fix that. So that was once I really started doing that, everything else started falling into place. And I felt calmer and had more time to go chase the shiny object because I knew that I got everything else. And I carved out that time to chase the shiny object. Like on the weekends in the morning is when I do like my brainstorm. So I have 4 walls in my office are all blackboard paint so I can write all over them. And I do every weekend. It's where my ideas go. Best book. I don't have an entrepreneurial book actually to recommend, but one book that changed my life in the corporate world was A World Without Email by Cal Newport. And it's about putting the systems in place. I'm a big system person, putting the systems in place so that you can target your communication efforts so that people know where to go to get the information, where to communicate the information, and eliminating all of this stress that's caused by constant information coming from all over the place and different mediums and the expectation for everyone to respond to everything instantly. Learning how to kind of move beyond that into a more sophisticated communication system and just workflow system has been really important for how I will establish my business going forward.
Very cool. Diana, key to success and any book recommendations.
Well, a lot what everyone else said, of course, as well. Implementation, because you can read 150,000 books. If you don't implement anything of what you learn and constantly have the thirst to grow, then you regress. And I think that is very important. That is the key to success. Implement and listen. And book recommendation is difficult because everyone is a different point of their life, of their business and whatnot. So I find it very difficult to recommend something. But networking always works. And Mr. Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People is a great book, as well as The Hero Story, so that the other person doesn't constantly, what was it, the film Finding Nemo, here's me, but actually feels heard as well. I think those 2 books, I couldn't decide which one, but they are brilliant. Other than that, even if there are people out there that don't like to read, watch videos. And you can, I used to be on Clubhouse in the beginning when it was so cool. And I used to say something, keep your algorithm clean. If you keep your algorithm clean and you program your algorithm, you're not going to waste your time on social media anymore because you only see what you need to see. Let's say you're looking into AI. We look a lot into AI and how we can improve the security business and even the company business by using AI, using ChatGPT or AI created images in order to show a scene that is there, especially for our marketing. Look into this and be curious. I think that's it. Implementing and being curious. Those are the 2 things.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Jody, do you have any that you want to give as recommendations for the audience?
No, they kind of covered it all. The only thing I would probably throw in again is being authentic. I think that's the piece, sticking with who you are and believing in who you are and trusting yourself, because a lot of people are trying to change you as you go out throughout your career, and just stay focused to who you really are and don't let them change you. And the book
Amazing.
is Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. It kind of talks all about the action. I mean, she kind of like talks about all of our action coach books and all these things we have, but it was not an action coach book. So I was like, yay, something different. And it was
Amazing.
and a woman's point of view. So it was great.
Excellent. Well, I want to first off say thank you again for all of y'all taking the time to be here and share a bit of your journey here. Of course, we can't wrap out this conversation without allowing y'all to tell the audience where they can go for more information if they want to connect with you and learn about your journey some more, want to learn about your business, that sort of thing. I just want to take 30 seconds, for each of you to just give the audience an idea of where they can go to connect, to learn more, and just advise them for more information. Ashley, we'll start with you. 30 seconds. Where can the audience go for more information?
Awesome. Yes, you can go to prowessproject.com. That's PROWESS projects.com. If you ever want to know, like, hey, what would it like to offload all the systems? What could my life be like? We have a free webinar that you can listen to on double speed. Love that. And check that out. Also, hit me up on LinkedIn, Ashley Connell, 2 N's, 2 L's. Yeah, love to chat with you.
Beautiful. Alyssa.
Awesome. Yeah, my website or LinkedIn, and it's very easy to find because there are no other Alyssa Joshas, and it's not phonetic. So if you need my last name, is GIOSCIA. But my website is alyssajosha.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always available, and I would love to chat.
Beautiful. Maria.
Yeah, for knowing more about my business, you can visit website oyoai.com or oyoai.com or my LinkedIn. So Maria Tinitskaya. It's very, very simple. So thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Of course. Casey.
Yeah, so you could go to www.patricianassociates.com and navigate to the Austin Network to find us particularly. We are on LinkedIn. I believe I am also the only Casey Nichik in the world that I'm aware of. So you can find me on LinkedIn. Or we also have a Patrice and Associates -ATX business page, as well as our handle for Instagram and Twitter, or X now, sorry, is at @PA_ATX.
Excellent. Diana, where can the audience go for more information?
Well, they can find us on Viking TSG or Viking EPS, depending on what kind of services you're interested in. However, if you have one part, we're always happy to send you to the other one. And you can also find us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, X, Threads. I think we're almost everywhere except for Snaps maybe, but all the same handles: Viking TSG, Viking EPS, and we always encourage everyone to reach out if you want to reclaim your time and feel safe.
Beautiful. For those that are watching, I will make sure to link at least everyone's LinkedIn profiles in the description below. So please make sure you go out, click on it, connect with them, send everyone a message, actually send a human message that says, hey, I saw you on the BOS business panel here. Loved the conversation, wanted to connect. Make sure you do that, connect with everyone here, because part of this process is that, creating additional connections between the entrepreneur community here in Central Texas is such a powerful thing. So thank you all so much for taking the time to be here. This has been absolutely amazing. I know we could probably be sitting here for another 2 hours and just chatting. So I appreciate you taking the time that you have. This has truly been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.